Welcome back to Vegas. Big three, regular season finale. It's a fight for the playoffs, and we have Trilogy taking on the Killer3s as we take a look at the standings and why this game is so important. Well, if you're Trilogy, you win this game, you're in. For the Killer3s, they can make it really interesting because if they win, and let's say the three-headed monsters won and a team like that stubs its toe, they could find themselves in the playoffs. Again, top four teams make it to the playoffs into the Bahamas. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner, Jim Jackson. Got another important one here.
Just how you want it. I mean, we talked about it before in regards to end of the season, these games matter. Positioning matters. So right now, a lot on the line, a lot of different scenarios. Both teams wants to put the opportunity to advance in their own hands.
Let's get right to the roster lineups brought to you by PNC Bank. And Jim, as we take a look at Trilogy led by Steven Jackson, Jarrett Jack, he's the captain. Who is your PNC overdraft protection player to watch?
Double J, Jarrett Jack. I mean, listen, ranks 5th in the league in scoring at 19.2. 27 last week, 3rd straight game with 20 points. The guard leading the way. Again, Trilogy in a position to put themselves to get to the top of the leaderboard, but it's behind the shooting and scoring and playmaking ability of Double J, Jarrett Jack.
Well, let's talk about the PNC roster for the Killer3s, led by Charles Oakley, Frank Nitti. Dante Green, though, has been great. 25 points he's been averaging over the last 3 games. Listen, he has been a bucket getter for them.
Well, he has, and this time his role has expanded since last year in regards to being the go-to guy for the Killer3s. And Charles Oakley recognizes that. Sessions feeding Dante Green, allowing him to initiate the offense, start the offense, and a lot of times in the offense, when you have a dynamic scorer like that, like Green, that can beat you inside and out, you want to play off him and through him.
Charles Oakley, he's their head coach. 4th year as the Killer3s head coach. Listen, they had a 4-game win streak that was snapped just last week by Tri-State, who got a victory here earlier today. And Steven Jackson, his first season coaching, he was a player.
Bro. How about it? And they used to go at it in regards, because both were competitors, highly motivated, highly emotional when it comes to playing. And now, opposite ends of the bench, I'm sure they'll have some words for each other across these lines as this game begins.
Yes, for Trilogy, they win, they're in. Amir Johnson flips it up and flips it in. Here's Franklin Sessions, Frank Nitti. To Dante Green, drives. And Green will go to the line.
Little 3-man weave action at the top, but that got Dante Green not only in the middle, B, but he caught the ball on the move. So guess what? His defender, James White, is already on his hip. All you got to do is turn the corner.
Here's Dante Green now, shooting 1 for 2. He leads the team in scoring, knocks it down. His first 2 points of the game. In fact, he's the only guy on the Killer3 who averages double figures. Jack, blocked by Frank Nitti. Somehow Amir Johnson has it, but traveled with it. Here's Nitti again. Spins, double team. Green has it with 5 on the shot clock. The drive. Misses everything, and Jarrett Jack puts it in and 1. He'll go to the line.
Good defense. That time, Double J, Jarrett Jack, recognizing the pill. The rock did not hit the rim, so he didn't have to clear. But then also, too, having the presence of mind, eyes up at the rim, absorb the contact, puts yourself in a position for a 3-point play.
And he completes that 3-point play. 5-2, the score. You know, Jack had a season-high 27 just last week.
weave action up front.
Frank Nitty to follow.
Yeah, that time Jared Jack fell asleep and Nitty showing off those hops right there, able to get that putback in for Killer3s.
Nice. Good pass. Jack, the drive. Missed everything.
I tell you what, great recovery by Franklin Sessions as the ball swung back to Jared Jack. That could have been an easy drive for Jack, but Sessions able to cut him off. Then those little plays like that, taking away those what could have been an easy two. Now possession for Killer3s, not able to take advantage of it.
Here's Jack. Stolen though by Nitty. He's so quick. He'll pull the three. Amir Johnson to Jack. 1 point lead here for Trilogy. For Trilogy, a win, they're in the playoffs. Shot rolls off. Here's Franklin Sessions. 5 now on the shot clock. He drives, flips it in.
Well, KYG too, know your game. Sessions understands he's not a long ball shooter. So all the dribbling, all that was to freeze Johnson so he can at least get by him and get his shot up. He was able to pull it off with that little running hook.
Oh, Jack. Who uses his body. Yes.
See, that's like me and you playing one-on-one.
Yeah.
I think you right there, I'm going to put that shoulder right in the middle of your chest. Little fella. Back up off me a little bit now.
Oh, how about Dante Green? Euro stepping. A 1 point lead for the Killer3s. Inside, Johnson. Oh, tried to use the left hand. Got it back, blocked. Dante Green puts it in.
Oh, Dante doing it all. I mean, that time, Amir Johnson got buried under the basket a little bit, which allowed Dante Green to play great defense. And again, the awareness, knowing you didn't have to clear up that air ball to put it up in a foul, and
comes off. Jack back at the line. So Jared Jack, who played 13 seasons in the league, in the NBA. And how about Charles Oakley? Charles Oakley, he didn't waste any time. He wants to bring the fire early. In the Taco Bell, bring the fire. So now Jared Jack will have to go one-on-one against Franklin Sessions. And here's the bring the fire rule. You get 10 seconds to try to make a bucket.
And again, once you step inside that three-point line, you can't step back out as an offensive player or it's a violation.
So Jack against Frank Nitty.
That's big boy ball.
Yeah, put that shoulder into him and banks it home.
Big boy ball, and Sessions knew it. Now, he tried to keep him outside the lane, but watch Jared Jack. All he wants to do is get to his spot, use that right shoulder, create some space, and then nice touch off the glass.
Nitty trying to go right back at him. Good pass inside to Josh Powell. And Powell lays it in. Three-point lead for the Killer3s, who's trying to make the playoffs themselves. Thanks to Frank Nitty.
Who said the jump hook for little guys is dead?
Right here in Vegas, 12-9. Our score. Trilogy with a win. They're in the playoffs. Killer3s could also get in as well. Hey, each week, fans, you can help select the Microsoft Big 3 Player of the Week. You can go online, big3.com, or Big 3 social media accounts to vote. And we reveal the results from Week 8 We do it next Saturday from the playoffs in the Bahamas. Here's Jared Jack. Gets the screen from Johnson. Loses. Johnson got it back, though, and White knocks it in.
Just like Jack, Coach Jack drew it up in the timeout.
Right.
Pick and roll, you lose it. James White picks it up for two. Sometimes you draw up a play, it don't work, you got to make adjustments. It was good defense that time by Killer3s, but the ball bounced the way of Trilogy.
Here's James White. He spent his entire Big Three career with Trilogy. Good ball fake, and he flips it in. Oh, and Trilogy takes a 1-point lead over the Killer3s. Fourth lead change we've had here in the first half. First team to 25, we go to the half. Here's Dante Green. Used the left hand, it came off. James White nearly threw it away. 5 on the shot clock. Oh,
look at the hustle.
Nitty stole it, but stolen right back, and Amir Johnson punches it home.
I mean, that's sometimes, man, you know, you hustle, you do the right thing, and the ball bounces the other way. Trilogy able to take advantage of the tip ball. Look, see that right there, and you know, Oak is like, I love the hustle. Right here, heads up play, but Nitty, that's not your shot. You know, that's a possession lost. That sometimes when momentum is going towards your opponent's way, you don't want to give them.
So Earl Watson. This is a C.J. Watson, Mo Charlo. They check in. Good defense by Charlo. He's their defensive specialist. Here's C.J. now. Working on Jared Jack. Green. Step back 3. Jack with the rebound. He'll pull it. 3-point lead for Trilogy. Watson for 3. Johnson from the corner.
Neither team right now can find the bottom of the nets. It's me quick pick and roll, a 4-point shot. Oh, there it is.
CJ, the follow, no. Watson working on James White. And there's a lid on that basket. And Steven Jackson's gonna call a timeout.
Smart timeout. Smart timeout by Jack.
3-point lead for Trilogy. A win, they're in the playoffs. It's the Big Three regular season finale here on CBS. 3-point lead for Trilogy here in Vegas. Big Three regular season finale. Don't forget to download the exclusive Big Three app in the App Store and Google Play Store as well for exclusive content. You get highlights, you get stats, you get merch, the whole thing. Download the Big Three app and do it today.
You know what was interesting in that timeout? Steven Jackson took the timeout, but he didn't really say anything. And sometimes you don't, as a coach, you allow your players to kind of work through and talk situations out. So to be there to see kind of what adjustments the players make as they try to end out this half.
Isaiah Briscoe has checked in for Trilogy. He's their second leading scorer. Here's Jack. Pulls up, knocks down the jumper.
See that little snake dribble? Meaning once he came off the pick to the right, snake dribble, he darted right back to his left, got to his spot. You see it a lot with Chris Paul in the league, where you use the screen, and that's a beautiful, pocket pass to Powell. But that little snake screen, that snake dribble, gets players in the middle of the court in particular to their spot to knock down shots at Briscoe. Oh my goodness.
How about Isaiah Briscoe? Second leading scorer, averaging 14 a game. It's a 5-point lead for Trilogy. First team to 25, we go to the half. Powell again. He's just money with that.
Yeah, but that middle pick and roll, whether you isolate in the middle or that middle pick and roll, is so hard to guard. In particular, if you have some shooters on the wing, it's like, okay, what am I going to give up?
Here's Briscoe again.
Great D, Charlie. You talked about being the defense.
Absolutely.
Mismatch.
Great D. Amir Johnson challenged by Powell. Watson from the corner. The follow no good by Powell, but he draws a foul.
Patience in the pick and roll, how you use the dribble, it's all incumbent upon the point guard. And C.J. Watson lost it a little bit, but frame of mind to know that Powell was still there. And Amir Johnson had to help a little bit, just that little bit of space. When he, you know, Amir Johnson leaned over, Watson was able to get over with Powell to create that shot.
Here's Watson the drive. High off the glass, he banks it home. Lead is now 1 for Trilogy. Kick out, Briscoe, 3. Too hard.
Push. Yeah, push.
There's a push on C.J. Watson.
Yeah.
James White and Sweetney will check in for Trilogy.
Yeah, and Isaiah Briscoe will take over the ball handling responsibility for Trilogy.
Lead is 1. First team to 25, we go to the half. White, the drive. So James White will go to the line, shooting 1 for 2. Dante Green will check in for Mo Charlo.
Charlo that time gave up the baseline. You got to understand too, when you guarding James White, he wants to get to the basket. You close out a little bit slower, give him his space, but get there where you can contest the jump shot if White takes it. That time you gave up the baseline if you're Charlo. And White able to get to the free throw line and knock in the 1 for 2.
Here's Dante Green working on Sweetney. Oh, good up and under. Oh, banks it home.
Good patience. You know, Sweetney was there, but the up and under, excellent footwork. Dante Green.
1 point lead for Trilogy. The drive by White. Knocked away by Josh Powell.
We go back to Dante Green. Is the reason why he puts buckets in. Is his patience right there. Good defense by Sweetney, but then the awareness that the middle was open. Keep that pivot planted. Able to get inside.
Amir Johnson is checked back in. Here's Briscoe. Fading and knocks it down. Let's pull up. Trilogy just 2 points away from the half. Here's CJ. Has it ripped.
Whoa. Briscoe. So it's a shot clock situation because now you got to see with the shot clock where they're going to set it. Great defense. Look, this anticipating moving, jumping over the top where the screen is going to be. So it's 5 seconds on the shot clock for Killer3s.
5 seconds on this shot clock for the Killer3s. Here's Powell. Watson for 3. Wow. Good.
Long 5 seconds. That was. It sure was. You had a cross court, but once the ball got in the dribble drive, I don't know what happened to Briscoe and why he left C.J. Watson so wide open.
James White, and we go to the half. A cold-blooded 3 by James White, and he tells Charles Oakley to shh. And it's Trilogy with a 3-point lead. With a victory, Trilogy is headed to the playoffs in the Bahamas.
Well, it's a lot of hustle, a lot of plays being made, but Trilogy, at the end of the day, making more plays than Killer3s able to take a nice little 3-point lead in the halftime.
Big 3 on CBS Sports is sponsored by Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities with the Air Force Reserve.
26-23, that's the score at the half. Trilogy on top of the Killer3s. With a win, Trilogy's in the playoffs. Next Saturday on CBS, it is the Big 3 playoffs. Triplets, will they win their second straight championship, or will we have a new challenger knock them off the throne? Tune in next Saturday, 3 Eastern. The Big 3 playoffs, it is right here on CBS. Here's Charles Oakley, the head coach of the Killer3s. We've got him mic'd up for sound.
Dante, get off! Get off! Get up, Josh, get up! Stay down, stay down! Good D, good D! Oh, yeah! Good move!
There he is. Charles Oakley mic'd up there, and listen, he's trying to find some answers here as his team down by 3. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson.
Yeah, gave up some easy opportunities, especially late in that game. I mean, the first half to Trilogy, but right there, still in the cups, only down 3 points. So clean up the little stuff, try to get Dante Green involved, but then defensively lock in a little bit more, not give Trilogy those easy opportunities.
Well, let's talk about some of the guys we talked about in the open for Trilogy. Jared Jack.
They're playing bully ball a little bit, but that snake dribble I talked about earlier, then putting the shoulder into a smaller Franklin Sessions, able to fend off his defender, get his shot, and then the snake dribble once again to get to a spot. So not disappointing in the first half. And Dante Green kind of doing all he can. You know, 8 points in the first half. The combination of good defense here, the awareness to put it back up because of missed shot, and then post up inside. So we'll see a lot more of that. Keep in mind, we saw early with Oak, the kind of 3-man weave up top with Dante Green to get him getting downhill. C.J. Watson starting the second half in place of Franklin Sessions. So let's see how that impacts the offensive and defensive presence for Killer3s.
Jared Jack, 9 points, game-leading scorer along with James White. Watson comes off the screen. First team to 50, you win it. Dante tried to bank it home. Here's James White. White, crossover, drive. And he'll go to the line.
Late call, but the right call. I mean, the body of power that time with James White, even though he was kind of going towards the baseline, the body calls that a little bit, so good call by the official.
So here's James White shooting 1 for 2. And no good. Lead is still 3. Watson. And they're going to call that's an offensive foul on Powell on the screen.
Let's see if Josh Powell, did he move the hip?
Yeah, left leg.
Yeah, but actually, though, you know, sometimes I put it on the point guard. Sometimes you'd rather be a half a second late to allow Powell to set first. But then if you're going off the stream at the same time, you see a nice pass to James White, able to knock in another 3. The foul will be called on the player setting the screen, and that's what happened. But Trilogy able to take advantage of it by Flight White, able to knock in another 3.
And Flight now, leading scorer. Only guy in double figures with 12. Dante Green lays that one in. He's now in double figures for the Killer3s. Lead is 4. Oh, Jared Jack lost the rock. Watson picks it up. Missed that 3, though. Inside, Mir Johnson. And the foul on Josh Powell on the floor. Again, Trilogy, they win it. They head to the postseason.
And they're right at the top of the leaderboard. with Tri-State and Triplets at 6-2.
Crucial game for them.
Well, yeah, and then you have the Ball Hogs a little bit later at 5-2.
Right.
If they were able to win, so you got 4 teams at the top at 6-2, and then they have to work out from
Three-headed monster.
three-headed monsters.
Yeah.
Three-headed monsters. Then they have to work out. See, Josh Powell able to knock it in, kind of a point differential scenario to get your seedings for the Bahamas.
Jack, quick crossover. Takes the contact, flips it up. And this is kind of what you were talking about, Jim, as we look at the standings. Tri-State, who knocked off the Triplets earlier today, they're at the top there at 6-2. They're in. Top 4 teams make it.
Yeah.
So with a win for Trilogy, they're in here. But if the Killer3s get a victory, and all of a sudden, let's say three-headed monsters take a loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
C.J. Watson draws that one on Jared Jack. He'll go to the line.
Well, I think it's 2 scenarios here why Charles Oakley went with Watson in the second half. One, bigger, a little bit stronger to handle Jared Jack, okay, physically, more than Franklin Session. Offensively, CJ can also stretch the defense a little bit more and knock in that open jump shot, you know, when the ball gets reversed. Snake dribble once again, and Jared Jack. It seems so simple, but Jack understands this. Let me set my guy up, use this pick and roll, stay close to his shoulder, get to about 15 feet and pull up.
Here's Jack. Gets the screen from Johnson. White. Open for 3. White. Missed it. Line drive 3. Here's Dante Green now. The drive. Kick out to Watson. Bully ball by Dante Green.
Well, D. Green was not happy not getting the call before. And that time, he put his shoulder right square in the chest of James White, backed him off and got that 2.
2-point lead for Trilogy, and Jared Jack goes back to the line. Listen here, take a look at the games that you'll see coming up live, free on Triller and Fight TV. As soon as we're done, you've got the Ball Hogs taking on Power, and then the Ghost Ballers taking on the Three-Headed Monsters, and that game is crucial. Three-Headed Monsters, another team at 5-2 with a victory. They're in the playoffs. Jack misses that free throw. 2-point lead. Green ties it up with that. Tied up at 33. First team to 50 wins. Got to win by 2. Wide open. Flight for 3.
Stretch the defense, pull him to one side, and then make a decision. That time, Jack. Cross-court pass to James White for his 3rd 3.
Here's Sessions. He's back in now for the Killer3s. Powell. Pull-up jumper. Good. One-point lead for Trilogy as we go back and forth. Good roll by Amir Johnson in your face. Amir Johnson with authority. 3-point lead for Trilogy. Watch this. Playoffs on the line here in Vegas. And Trilogy wants it. It's the Big 3 here on CBS. Don't forget to head over to Triller Fight to watch the rest of this week's Big 3 games immediately following this CBS broadcast. You'll have a chance to win cash, prizes all season long. You can scan that QR code now or text BIG to 75303 to sign up for text and enter Big 3 Bring the Fire promotion. Hey, it's time for our monster moment of the game. It's fueled by Terrible's convenience stores. It came from the opening game, Jason Richardson.
Yeah, back-to-back slam dunk champs, 02-03. Still showing off the bobs right there. It's in the hood, we call them bobs.
Oh, okay.
Bobs. That's what we do. But Jay Rich, Tri-State, getting it done early.
And they got a victory, got the triplets. They're in the playoffs. So we got two teams in the playoffs, the Triplets and Tri-State. Trilogy trying to get in as well with a victory here. Nitty misses that jumper. James White with the board. Here's Jarrett Jack. Gets past Nitty. And good hand by Dante Green.
But, you know, the scenario that we see right now, we saw the standings. First year, kind of Trilogy dominated. Last year, it was the Triplets that dominated. And in between, you had a couple things. But now, we're always talking about competitive balance and teams selecting the rosters the right way, picking the players that fit, so now you can be competitive across the board. You have 5 or 6 teams that are right there. And that's what you want. And it doesn't happen automatically, but organically, the league is now put in a position where you have teams that are evenly matched, and hence we have this intrigue at the end of the year.
Offensive foul on Dante Green. Amir Johnson draws the charge.
Yeah, but see that, just that little push right there. I know Dante is upset. Uh-oh, we got a tech.
They call that one on Dante Green. So he draws the technical. See Steven Jackson asking for more. And there, another one, they just kicked him out.
And your best player, you got to understand that. You can't do that, Dante. The game is still in bad. Okay, bad call, we get it. You're only down 3. Now you give Trilogy an opportunity to extend this lead even more. And now you're not even going to be a part of the finish. The best player, again, emotion, you want to get to the finals, I mean to the playoffs, I get it. Wow.
And so it looked like Jarrett Jack will shoot 3 shots for, he's got an opportunity to put 6 points on the board.
And again, only down 3. So now you give this Trilogy team, instead of maybe the 2 points, well, you need to take advantage of it. So you can still get 4 out of this. But again, your best player is not, wow, the court. And how about Jarrett Jack?
Wow.
Double J, represent those initials right, bro.
Man.
We don't miss 2 in a row.
He didn't get the memo, bro.
I'm gonna have to holler at him about that after the game.
Oh, man. Will you get something? And he gets just 2 points out of that. They had an opportunity to add 6.
Yeah. I mean, Killer3s benefited from that. Now let's see who now is your go-to offensive player, or is it by committee? Because I don't think one player is going to be able to do it.
So here's the original foul for Amir Johnson. So he gets a chance to shoot 1 for 2. And he misses.
Wow. You talking about leaving points? That's potentially 6 points left on the board.
Man, this game could be almost over.
Yeah.
Here's Charlo for 3.
Uh-oh.
How about that? Charlo goes into the first row.
Good
Hustling
also
for that basketball.
Yeah, by both players. Cameraman stood in there.
He did.
Would take the charge.
Take it.
Then jump out the way.
Nah, not at all.
Give himself up a little bit. So I'm in it.
Stolen by Charlo. He turns. Missed it. Here's Flight White. The drive. Bounces off. They call that one on Amir Johnson. Isaiah Briscoe will come in and replace James White. Here's Nitty. Crosses over, pulls it back, and knocks down the jumper.
Now that's where Frank Nitty is really effective. Get you moving one way, crosses back over behind the back, whatever it may be. It gets into a sweet spot, an offensive foul.
Offensive foul on Jared Jack. So I tell you what, man, right now, the Trilogy could be up double digits. Yeah. And that lead is just 3.
Well, how many times have we said, the coaches say it all the time, gotta make your free throws.
Gotta make your free throws.
And especially in this scenario when it's just one and you can get 2 points.
3-point lead for Trilogy. The winner headed to the playoffs. It's the Big 3 here on CBS. Steven Jackson has coached Trilogy to their most wins since they went undefeated in the inaugural Big 3 season. They won it all. Here's Frank Nitty. Draws the foul on Jared Jack.
And Oak in the timeout drew up that kind of isolation play to let Franklin Sessions in.
Oh, Steven Jackson wants to bring the fire.
No, partner, it ain't gonna be that easy. Now, can Franklin get a little get back
from earlier?
Yes. When Jared Jack was able to kind of bulldog his way down, Sessions is going to try to use his quickness against a stronger veteran player, Jared Jack.
Here's the Taco Bell bring the fire. Frank Nitty's got 10 seconds to go one-on-one. Try to get a bucket. Jared Jack gets a stop. Trilogy gets the rock.
Get you rhyming. Look, why you wink at me. I think Frank had too many moves in mind. He couldn't get them all. He tried to get them all in one play.
Yeah.
To me, it's angle, get by somebody, and go. You know, you only got 10 seconds.
So Trilogy gets the ball. Again, first team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2 here in the Big 3. Here's Briscoe. They got Mo Charlo on him. Good D, great D. Sessions rejected by Jared Jack, but there's Mo Charlo. He's Johnny on the spot.
I thought Sessions should have kept going to his right because he had that side of the court, less traffic, but it paid off because Charlo with that hustle on the back end able to put it in. Offensive rebound.
Lead is 1. Jack for 3. Lead is still 1. Here's Briscoe though. Short. Jack is right there. Oh, he missed the bunny. The follow's no good. Wow.
And Steven Jackson wants to challenge to say that at the end of this, it was Sessions who hit it out, but.
So Steven Jackson will challenge. He believes Frank Nitty was the last person to hit that basketball.
A couple opportunities for Trilogy, not able to take advantage of the layup by Jack and then the tip by Amir Johnson. Let's see it. Take a look at the end. Let's see if Nitty gets his hand in on this one right here. Oh, might be. Because the ball, it looks like Amir's trying to press it up. Watch him press it up. But then the ball comes down to the left, which is the direction that Frank Nitty's hand is going.
I love Steven Jackson. Listen, Steven even goes, challenges the fans who challenge.
Well, I mean, Jackson's going to let you know now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a reason why you over there, which is on the other side of this seats are at. Normally, there would be expensive seats.
Right.
And there's a reason why he on the bench. Now, you figure out what that means.
So that challenge is good. It will be Trilogy basketball.
Well, and you know, and that's where the challenge is great because it gives Trilogy, who struggled to kind of finish this off when, after all that activity that happened when Dante Green went out, to give them a chance at another opportunity offensively.
Lead is 1. Despite everything, the Killer3s are still in it. White, that shot short.
And if you're fouled, that's the shot you want James White to kind of take a contested off the dribble pull-up.
Here's Powell. Yep. He has been money with that jumper. So through all of that, the Killer3s now with a 1-point lead.
Breach.
And their leading scorer kicked out of the game.
Yeah, but you don't stop. Your defense gives your offense a chance to take advantage of it, and that's what Killer3s are able to do. Can they get another stop?
No. White missed it. Left it short.
Remember, that was a 3-point game when Dante Green, you know, exited because of the 2 technical fouls.
And they had Trilogy had an opportunity to put up 8 points on the points.
Say it again.
And they only got 2.
They only got 2.
Here's Nitty. Stolen. Jarrett Jack. Fouled as he goes to the line. So Jack back at the line with the opportunity, shooting 1 for 2.
Now, I think Killer3, so Trilogy should be in the penalty here. So he makes this. They get the ball back.
Get the ball back.
So again, taking advantage of situational basketball, which is get to the free throw line in the penalty, make the shot, retain possession, give yourself a chance again, like right here.
Great block by Nitty. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's C.J. Watson. Ooh. 1-point lead for Trilogy. First team to 50 wins. For Trilogy, a win, they're in the playoffs. A 3rd-round coverage of the Northern Trust is coming up next on CBS, and it's available right now. PGAtour.com and the CBSSports.com as well. 1-point lead. Open 3, short by Briscoe. Flight to Jarrett Jack, down 1. The drive, takes the contact and still banks it home. Jack, game high 19. 1-point lead for Trilogy. Watson. No. Briscoe the rebound. Briscoe working on Nitty. Offensive foul.
Nitty being active, cut off the baseline of Briscoe, anticipating that the shoulder was going to come down, and that time able to absorb all of that shoulder and impact. Pick up that charge call.
Listen, for Trilogy, a victory, they're in the playoffs. For the Killer3s, they win it, count it, and 1 for C.J. Watson. If the Killer3s get a victory today, they could could be in the playoffs, especially if the three-headed monsters lose.
Well, the question we asked is like, who would step up for Killer 3's scoring mark? But it's been by committee. Powell's been able to knock in shots. Nitty been able to do some things. Watson right there. So sometimes when your leading scorer goes out, now the ball gets distributed a little bit more. Now other guys have more opportunities. Speaking about opportunities, that time Jared Jack just put his head down, attacked the rim, and now they're back up one.
46-45. First team to 50 wins it. CJ gets the screen. He's got 5 on the shot clock, working on Jared Jack. Here's the drive. Oh, blocked. Great defense by Trilogy. Shot clock violation. Jared Jack doing it offensively and defensively.
Well, watch him anticipate right here. Then, not fouling when the ball comes down and slaps at it. Jack able to anticipate the timing of it. Big time defensive play by Jared Jack.
So Trilogy can win this game with a 4-point shot. Jared Jack. The drive, the Euro step, and count it.
Now you remember when Sessions blocked his shot? The last two, big boy basketball for Jared Jack, and I guarantee if they get a stop here, the ball is going right back in his hands.
CJ for 3, missed it. Bounces around, and it finds Jared Jack.
Guess what?
He can win it. He's done it before. Working on Josh Powell. They send the double team his way. He'll pull. Missed it. Here's CJ. Sessions. Nitty.
Late call, but he got it.
And they're going to go to the line is Frank Nitty. So here's Frank Nitty shooting 1 for 2.
Make it. Get it back.
And
you gotta make it.
He missed it.
Gotta make it, man.
Here's Jack. Game on the line. A bucket. They win it. They're heading to the playoffs. The drive. Rejected. Powell dunks it home.
Weak side. Nitty anticipated it.
Steven Jackson calls a timeout. He wants to talk about it. His squad is down 1.
Watch Jared Jack able to get by, but waiting right in the lane. Franklin Sessions. Great team defense, awareness that time by Josh Powell. Easiest 2 he had all afternoon right there.
What a game. A lot on the line. Jack had scored Trilogy's last 6 points. Here's what's at stake. Top 4 teams make the playoffs in the Big 3. Tri-State, they beat the Triplets earlier this afternoon. They're in. Triplets are in. With a victory for Trilogy, they're in. But for the Killer 3s, hey, look, they get a victory here. And let's say the three-headed monsters take a loss. Killer 3s are in.
I like the timeout, too, by Steven Jackson, because instead of maybe going with an isolation play, he's going to draw up something. Now, Jared Jack is still going to be involved. Looks like it's going to be some kind of middle pick and roll. But at least you get a time to collect your breath, put something structurally in, then run your play.
Here's Jared Jack going for the win. Amir Johnson rolls the kick out. Open 3. James White for the win. No. Jack, the follow. Fades. It comes off. Here's Nitty. Asking for and gives it to Watson. Oh, he draws the foul to win it. So C.J. Watson will go to the top.
And was he behind the line, or did his toes
Oh, he was on.
That's huge.
He was on the line. His foot was on the line.
Well, it'll be a 2-point shot at the free throw line. Some opportunities for Trilogy to end this game. And a mistake this time by Jared Jack by leaving his feet. And that time C.J. Watson did the smart thing, went up for the shot.
So he's shooting 1 for 2. So even with a bucket here, it's still a 1-point lead.
Yeah, but you make it, again, it's important on your free throw.
Yes.
You make it, C.J. Watson, your team retains possession, and you got a chance to close this game out.
And he knocks it down. Here we go. Now, Killer3s can win it with a bucket. Watson, downhill, flips it up and in. The Killer3s with the victory. Charles Oakley's squad has done it again. Wow. They avenge a week 1 loss, the Trilogy.
I mean, but instead of Killer3s kind of bowing their head and dropping their shoulders because Dante Green went out, they didn't do that. They stepped up big time. Go back to when you pointed it out, the 8-point opportunity.
Yes.
Even if they can get maybe 6 out of that 8 points, this is a different game. Maybe Trilogy already walks away with the victory.
So here's the updated standings. Three-headed monster, they're playing later this afternoon. If they win, they're in. But tell you what, the Killer3s could be in the playoffs. It all depends what happens with those three-headed monsters. I'll tell you what, we got more drama for you on Fight TV and Triller. For Jim Jackson, John Sally, our entire crew, I'm Brian Custer. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports in association with the Big Three.